Again, everything good? All can hear me? Yes? Okay. So, I have had time to think to myself, and I believe the topic for friendship has arisen for me, and this specific friendship connection story involves more intense, complicated meanings, terms that have stuck in my more in-depth, sentimental place inside during times in my young age. And I'm picking one story that really has affected my life, meaning moments of my time that leak into my head, which means that what had happened during those times truly mean checking off boxes for real terms for friendship, and not only left for once in a while meeting and saying hi because we go to school together, or we go to work at a job together, and that's it. That is not true, because there were more reasons for all of those times socializing, and it's a little angering what people believe means you can instantly just say, no, we are not friends. You want another reason? We have never been friends. And then later switch it and say, if you behave to these terms, then okay, I will see you as a friend. Or refuse it, and that's fine. Go away. Which means I look to myself and I think about it and say, is that behavior from those people with rules seriously using my feelings, emotions from past times, and at me being the youngest with important moments of my life journey to try and connect with outside socializing, life-sustaining progress with becoming someone worth keeping, not only for work purposes of skill, etc., but a community. See, my perspective is that, but I have learned that people use it more for personal, in-home purposes. And that means that these rules become here on a almost to a pushed secret level that can influence a young mind. Doesn't matter how much mature thinking, when that person is still younger. So, meaning my explanation or story is specific to my experience being a young age. See, year 2019, So, to begin that life journey, I probably the young age of 21. And it's not a pick up and say that I made friends at a new job and after I graduated university for interpreting, blah 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 blah. This is a story about friendship and where this lesbian couple believe when it means that I am mature, when I am worthwhile, when I am being good, when I am not, and when that means that I have earned those two seeing me as good enough to help me experiencing life youngest from both of them together, and when both of them decide that I need to grow up. So, my friendship story begins with two new lesbian lesbian, community members in the state of Idaho. Both of them grew up there in the state of Idaho. And I learned more and more about both separately because I had pick up friendship moments when possible, because Heather Athens, I believe is her dad's last name. Anyways, Heather A and me, Geo, met in interpreting university for both of us to learn a lot about the deaf community, culture, and language studies. So there's a lot that was involved in hours and moments for picking up opportunity for friendship to bloom. Set aside after university, I was hired for interpreting at a high school named Rocky Mountain High School in Meridian, Idaho. There, I met Lanita Gibbons, or known as Nita, and I was helped for being given the choice to accept or refuse, deny that work through the help of good talk words from both Ida. Sorry, I look and sound like a robot signing because I'm a little upset and able to get the words out because I know that all three of us would be mad at me for voicing all of this story, because that would mean I'm a really bad person, bitch, to those two. Y'all understand what I am fighting through? Because Heather has already decided that I'm a low, dumb bitch for this story, because my life is not important compared to her family. Remember, me left alone, fighting for my life, and both of them saying that their family is more important compared to me. And those two call that. So, and me not knowing, I didn't know both of them talked to management, upper management staff. But anyways, that's the reason that I got hired onto the staff of Rocky Mountain High School. So, all of you start adding all the reasons those two in my head and yours should be required to prefer their preference compared to me. And why it would hurt me emotionally in my young feels. Understand that when I say I am the youngest, at age 21, Heather was age 26, 27, around there. No, that is wrong. That is wrong. That is at the beginning of university. So, the important specific here is that Heather is 5 to 7 years older compared to me. And she had already had a 3-year-old son. And interpreting classes with single mom status. See, all the good American mom status reasons for good American citizen reasons. Sorry, if Heather and Nita prefer a lot from me to describe how good people each of them have been all this time compared to angry, mean me. And only prefer when I'm like the nicest. Like a happy puppy. And would prefer for me not to look good and put together and like out of it or something. So both of them had a good time chunk, including themselves building their community of deaf friendships, from professors to interpreting level staff, and family member and friendships So, from here, all the way over here, all this time. And, anyways, so, during the time that I met Heather, she was starting to question her sexual preference, and she had a teeny crush on me, and I was not attracted. I am not attracted to more chubbier type. Like, she's a good woman, mom looking type with her chubby after birth look, but it's not my type. And I still preferred myself to be the person of preferring interaction and socializing no matter what. And how someone looks. So, both of us had a pretty good friendship. Trust in mature levels for responsibility. Sorry, I'm talking and signing so I can think about all this and in a way both of them can understand. And slow enough so all of you understand what type of mean comment could be given to me from both of them. Heather does not have deaf family. Nita Lenita Gibbons does have deaf family. So Heather met Coda, Soda, Nita. So Heather, right, both of us already had experience with friendship in school classrooms. So that's the experience, including, you know, Heather telling me that she was kind of mingling in bisexual thoughts. And, you know, her personality can be very, very flirty and seizes moments like calling me like really cute and very attractive, and you know, liking that I didn't become mad because she used flirty words for testers, because I was younger and I preferred to feel that I could socialize and not put up fronts with everything that maybe I was more like, please don't, because that would make the class really awkward and separate. There was only 12 of us interpreting students. And, you know, like, I refuse to get yelled at because I'm like, I'm not attracted to you. Like, pushing that reason aside and being like, okay, you know, let's see this point of view of just picking things like seeing through the eyes of nice niceness. Like good students should behave. And all understanding that university is also used to build good relationships together. At least the attempt. Now, Lanita Gibbons her family is already known, established in the state of Idaho, for the reasons of having deaf family. I didn't know that before meeting Nita, but that is the truth of the area. She grew up LDS. Heather grew up Christian. And two years later, when I accepted the job for interpreting at Rocky Mountain High School, Nita began her journey to building LGBT community with me, because she and Heather met, both of them met at that school district during the last year for university hours, during intern months. Internship at Ponderosa Elementary. So both of them experience their cute first time, both of them lesbian flirting and becoming an official lesbian relationship, which got to me. You know, my experience with my background, the religion, the other personal hurtful experiences with LGBT, and, you know, personal identity searching and explaining all those things to open myself up at times during friendship or relationship building, during school and work. So I met Nita, and, you know, I was clueless about both of their love story reasons and their love story only when I finally got the job and began learning the schedule and all these other things. Nita didn't want to feel stuck only known lesbian with her girlfriend Heather. So that year she wanted to build herself more confidence at the age of 40. Yeah, I think that Nita is about 15 to 20 years older than me, but looks younger in age looks when she's not like mom tired. She has, well, at that time she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 autistic kids, and learning how to become a mom for 4+ Heather's son, so 4 or 5 kids. During a time of an LDS divorce. To stay in the LGBT community, because Heather said she wanted to stay in that relationship. Meaning that both were experiencing family clash, disagreements about the meaning of love and self-identity. So I, as a very clear, non-girly woman, and very clearly preferred to express myself for my personality, both of them invited me into their personal life so that we could build friendship, me showing up to be that LGBT extra support, and that's a good reason, right? For me, time after time after time after time after time of those big level important reasons to say that that built a good functioning foundation for the meaning of real friendship. Without me getting stuck in physical looks, or the once in a while flirting that I couldn't give back. So Heather is like falling, right? Completely locked in love with Nita. But still, you know, having some thoughts because she's young, still flirting, not like chosen loyalty completely, but still a high percentage of wanting to stay with Nita. Sorry, I need to walk a little or stand up. Hold on. Hold on. My back. Hold on. Nita, at the same time, is experiencing wanting more experience, not wanting to stay stuck in one lesbian experience, and hates at the same time to think that she needs to stay a mom as an identity, meaning that during the divorce, she wanted to have shared custody or for the ex to have full custody of the kids. Because Nita needed time for her perspective of personal health needs. And that was a good young rope for our friendship, because I saw her struggle and feel panicky and upset and angry and all these emotions that I knew were life complicated terms. So I supported that Nita, needed time for her self-thinking and not being tied down to different family or friendship or relationship emotional behavior baggage of mature responsibility for her age, and that her mental health was very important, because she can't become the best person if she can't think or can't decide for herself. So I was there not only for mental health reasons and LGBT reasons for support, but that was a good stable for the foundation for friendship. It helped a little during the times when Nita was experiencing needing to fully express herself, including, her levels of how much attraction she felt for me, like thoughts that dove into just lesbian or same sex feelings of, like wanting physical touch and words and, like wanting a relationship type of perspective. And I mean, I was clear, right? Like sorry, I don't feel the same. I have an age thing difference that I am also figuring out, because I don't like young, stupid, immature minds, but I don't like this big old age difference thing. Like 1 year older for me is like scary, like awkward, and I'm more used to the idea of a same age relationship. Kenny, come here. Don't get stuff here. Yeah. I'm gonna faint with all those chemicals. And so I'm trying to remove myself from her daytime feelings, emotions, because I'm trying to see it from a more mature perspective, thinking maybe she's just really stuck and needs to vent. And, you know, I'm the only person she in her life has experienced having a mouth to use for LGBT venting feelings. So now I have this psychology head on, and I'm preferring to vent out reasons for her perspective for LGBT using those specific terms, separating myself, and giving her different mental health more towards LGBT options. Because if she's attracted to me, I was questioning, okay, that must mean that you are not feeling that level of relationship status with Heather. And she vents. I mean, that is correct. I have personal feelings that are hovering that make me, Nita, feel the need to take up new LGBT experiences, and that means that it's not in the terms of loyalty. Like now, Nita is experiencing wanting to be immersed